Hey everyone, this is Ms. Moffat from Across the Litiverse, and it's time to call it a wrap on September. Also, hi, and I missed you so much! So I've also wrapped up my work on my kinda sorta secret side project that I mentioned a few weeks ago that I still can't really talk about yet, but yay Moffat. To be honest, I used the temporary hiatus from BookTube as motivation to get me to finish my paperwork because I did not want to stop making videos. Cruel, I know, but it worked. In September, I read 3 books which totaled 1,086 pages. First off, I read The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey, which was the September pick for my book club. I read the book, but I had to forego our meeting as I was in the midst of a wicked head cold. Curses. Alaska, 1920. It's a brutal place to homestead, and that couldn't be truer for Jack and Mabel. Jack is no longer a young man, and he's breaking under the weight of running a farm on his own. Mabel is suffocating under her own loneliness, and she's unsure how to help Jack. On top of that, the lingering disappointment of their childlessness is driving a wedge between the two. One evening, in the middle of their first snowfall in Alaska, the couple form a child out of snow. The next morning, the snow child is gone, but they glimpse a young snow-white blonde girl running in the woods. I don't often go for historical fiction, but I'm game if there's a supernatural edge to it. Ultimately, I gave the book 3 out of 5 stars. Thought it was good, and I liked how you spent the whole time guessing about the snow child's true origins, but it just didn't strike me as a memorable story. It's hard to explain, but I know I won't be able to tell you a single detail about this book in a few months' time. I feel really awful saying that. I also read The Beauty Myth by Naomi Wolf, which was yet another book from my 2017 TBR reading list. And I was right, this one was a tough one to read, mostly because I kept getting so agitated at how the representation of women in media really hasn't changed since the 1980s. I found The Beauty Myth articulated the underlying stressors and fears that I've always felt, but couldn't fully understand where they were coming from. For example, turning 30. I know for me and a lot of other women, turning 30 was a lot harder than I ever anticipated. And I could never pinpoint why until I read this book and until I realized the ways in which women are taught to fear aging, and not just because of wrinkles and graying hair, but because there's an underlying message that we no longer matter unless we're considered beautiful. But what is beauty? Who decides what's beautiful? And what is gained or lost when one is or is not beautiful? And why can't the physical signs of a life well lived be considered beautiful? If you're looking to start reading feminist literature, this is a great starting point, and there's a reason this one keeps popping up on women's studies courses to this day. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. And last, I finally read My Brother's Husband, Volume 1. I mentioned this book in a yaoi video I filmed during Pride Month, and at long last, I found myself a copy. Yaichi is a stay-at-home dad raising his daughter, Kana. One day, Yaichi's life is turned upside down when Mike Flanagan, his estranged twin brother's husband, shows up at their door. Ryoji has recently passed away, and Mike wants to learn more about the place where his late husband grew up. Meanwhile, Yaichi is forced to re-examine the ways in which his own unresolved discomfort about Ryoji's sexuality ultimately drove a wedge between the two brothers, one that can no longer be fixed. Despite the heavier material, there were still some really sweet moments within this new family unit, and there was a playfulness and a great sense of humor that reminded me a fair bit of Yotsuba. And who doesn't love Yotsuba? I will definitely be checking out the next volume in the series, you can count on that. And that's a wrap on September. Did you guys check out any great books last month, or do you have all your sights set on October new releases? Sticking to my TBR list in the next few months is going to be quite difficult, not gonna lie. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up to support this channel. As always, thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more videos from across the Litiverse. On that note, signing off. On top of that, the lingering disappointment of their unbeing able